Matthew 13. Jesus tells a story about a farmer who planted seeds when on that same day, Jesus left the house and he went to Lake Galilee. He sat down near the edge of the lake to teach people. The crowd that came to listen to him was very large. So, he went and sat in a boat that was on the water. The big crowd of people stood on the shore. Jesus used stories to teach them many things. He said to them, "Listen to me. A farmer went out to plant seeds in his field. For while he was throwing the seeds, some of them fell on the path. The birds came and they ate those seeds. 5 other seeds fell on ground with rocks in it. There was not much soil in that place. The seeds quickly began to grow, because the soil was not deep. 6 But when the sun rose, it burned the young plants. They soon died because they had not grown down well into the soil. 7 Some other seeds fell among thorn bushes. Those bushes grew up with the young plants. They stopped the seeds from growing into strong plants. 8 But some seeds fell on good soil and strong plants grew from those seeds. Some plants made 100 new seeds. Some plants made 60 new seeds and some plants made 30 new seeds. 9 Then Jesus said to the crowd, "Who have ears, so listen well to what I say." Jesus explains to his disciples why he teaches with stories. 10 Then Jesus' disciples came to him. They asked him, "Why do you use stories to speak to the crowd?" 11 Jesus replied, "God has let you know what these stories mean. You understand how God rules in the lives of his people. But these other people do not understand what the stories mean." 12 A person who has received some things will receive even more. He will have lots of good things. Some other people have nothing. Those people will lose even the little bit that they do have. 13 The reason I use stories to talk to other people is this: these people look, but they do not really see clearly. They hear the words, but they do not really understand. 14 Long ago, the prophet Isaiah wrote a message from God about this. These people show that the message has become true. God said, "You will listen and listen, but you will not understand. You will look and look, but you will not see anything." 15 These people do not really want to understand. They're like people who have shut their ears. They're like people who have shut their eyes. If they did want to look, then they would really see. If they did want to listen, then they would really hear. They would understand my message. They would turn back to obey me. Then I would forgive them and I would make them well. 16 But as for you, be happy because God has helped you to see. He has helped you to hear and understand his message. 17 I tell you this. Many prophets and good people from a long time ago wanted to see these things. But they did not see the things that you are seeing. They wanted to hear the message that you are hearing, but they did not hear it. Jesus explains the story about the farmer who planted his seeds. 18 Jesus went on to say, "Listen to me now. I will tell you what this story about the farmer means." 19 Some people hear the message about God's kingdom but they do not understand it. Satan comes and he quickly takes the message away from their minds. The seeds that fell on the path show what those people are like. 20 Other seeds fell on soil with rocks in it. This is also like some people who hear God's message. These people are happy to believe it for a time. 21 But they are like plants that have not grown down well into the soil. So they only believe for a short time. They may have problems, or other people may do bad things to them, because they obey God's message. When that happens, these people soon stop believing. 22 Some seeds fell among thorn bushes. This is like other people who hear the message from God, but they have many troubles in their minds. They want to get more money and more things. They think that this will make them happy. So they do not let God's message change them. They are like plants that do not grow well and make new seeds. 23 But some seeds fell on good soil. This is like other people who hear the message from God and they understand it. These people are like good plants that grow well. From one seed, some good plants make 100 new seeds. Other good plants make 60 new seeds, and some good plants make 30 new seeds. Jesus tells a story about some weeds. 24 Then Jesus told the people another story. He said, "His is what the kingdom of heaven is like. A farmer planted some good wheat seeds into his field. 25 But one night, when everyone was sleeping, a bad person came to the farmer's field. He did not like the farmer. This bad person planted seeds from weeds among the good wheat seeds. Then the bad person went away again. 26 The good seeds grew and the plants began to make new seeds. But when this happened, the weeds also grew. 27 So the farmer's servants came to speak to him. Master, you planted only good seeds in your field, but now many weeds are also growing there. How did this happen? They asked him. 28 The farmer said to his servants, "Bad person who does not like me has done this." So, the servants then asked the farmer, "Oh, you want us to go and pull up the weeds?" 29 The farmer replied, "Oh, I do not want you to do that. If you pull up the weeds, you may also pull up some of the good wheat plants." 30 Let the good plants and the weeds grow up together. When all the seeds become ripe, I will tell the workers to cut down the weeds first. Then they will tie them together and burn them. Then they will cut the wheat and bring it into my building. I will store it there. Jesus tells a story about a small seed. 31 Jesus told the people another story. He said, "We'll tell you again what the kingdom of heaven is like. It is like a very small seed of the plant called mustard. A man took the seed and he planted it in his field. 32 It is the smallest seed that there is. But when it starts to grow, it will become bigger than the largest bush. It will become a tree. The wild birds will come and they will make their homes among the branches of that tree." Jesus tells a story about yeast. 33 Jesus told the people another story. He said, "The kingdom of heaven is also like this. It is like how yeast works. A woman took the yeast and she mixed it into 3 large bowls of flour. Then the yeast went through all the flour so that it grew big." 34 Jesus told the crowds of people all these things. But he only used stories to teach them. 35 So what God's prophet said long ago now became true, "We'll use stories when I speak to them. And I will teach them secret things." People have never learned these things before, since the world began. Jesus explains the story about the weeds. 36 Then Jesus told the crowds of people to go away. He went into the house where he was staying. His disciples also went into the house with him. They said to him, "Explain to us the story about the weeds that were growing in the field." 37 Jesus replied, "The Son of Man is like the farmer who planted the good seed in the field." 38 The field is like the world. The good seeds are like the people who belong to God's kingdom. The weeds are like the people who belong to the devil. 39 The devil is the bad person who planted the weed seeds in the field. The time when all the seeds become ripe is like the end of time. God's angels are the workers who cut the plants down. 40 In the story, the workers cut down the weeds and they burn them in the fire. When this world comes to an end, it will happen like that. 41 The Son of Man will send his workers, who are his angels. They will take away everything that does not belong to his kingdom. That is anything that causes other people not to obey God. They will take away everyone who is against God. 42 The angels will throw those bad people into the great fire. There the people will cry and they will bite their teeth together. 43 The people who obeyed God will shine like the sun. They will be in the kingdom of their Father. You have ears, so listen well to what I say. Jesus tells a story about a man who found valuable things in the ground. 44 Can tell you again what the kingdom of heaven is like. Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like something valuable that a man buried in a field. Another man found it, but then he covered it over again with dirt. Then that second man was very happy and he went away. He sold everything that he had. Then he went and bought the field with the valuable things in it." Jesus tells a story about some valuable stones. 45 Will tell you again what the kingdom of heaven is like. Jesus said, "Man has a business. He looks for beautiful valuable stones that he can buy." 46 One day he found a very beautiful and very valuable stone that someone wanted to sell. So he went away. and he sold everything that he had. Then he went and he bought that very beautiful and very valuable stone. 47 I can tell you again what the kingdom of heaven is like, Jesus said. All men had nets to catch fish in. They threw their nets into the lake and they caught many different kinds of fish. 48 When the net was full of fish, the men pulled it up onto the shore. Then they sat down. Some of the fish were good to eat, and they put these fish into baskets. Some of the fish were not good to eat, and they threw these fish away. 49 This is what will happen at the end of time. God will send his angels. They will put the people who did not obey God in one place, and they will put the people who obey God in another place. 50 The angels will throw the people who did not obey God into the great fire. There the people will cry and they will bite their teeth together. 51 Then Jesus asked his disciples, Have you understood all these things? They replied, Yes, we have. 52 Jesus said to them, Teachers of God's law have now learned about the kingdom of heaven. These men are like the master of a house who takes things out of the room where he keeps them. Some of the valuable things he brings out are new and some of them are old. 53 When Jesus had finished telling these stories, he went away from that place. Jesus goes to Nazareth. 54 Jesus returned to his own town. He taught the Jewish people in their meeting room there. The people were very surprised about the things that he taught them. They said to each other, We do not know how this man learned all these things. And we do not know how he does all these powerful things. 55 We know who he is. He is the son of the carpenter here. Mary is his mother. We also know his brothers, James, Joseph, Simon and Judas. 56 All his sisters also live here in the town among us. So then, where did he learn all these things? 57 So the people there did not accept Jesus. Jesus said to them, If a man is a prophet from God, people everywhere will say good things about him. But the people in his own town will not accept him. Even the people of his own house will not say good things about him. 58 Jesus did not do many powerful things in that town because the people would not believe in him. Mathew 14 Herod's soldiers killed John the Baptist. At that time, people told Herod about the things that Jesus was doing. 2 Herod said to his servants, Man, Jesus is really John the Baptist. John died but he has become alive again. That is the reason why this man can do these very powerful things. 3 Before that, Herod himself had said to his soldiers, Take hold of John. Tie his hands and feet and put him in prison. Herod had done this because of his wife Herodias. Before Herod married her, she was the wife of Herod's brother Philip. For John had said to Herod, Herodias was your brother's wife. So it is not right for you to have her as your wife. 5 Herod wanted to tell his soldiers that they must kill John. But the people thought that John was a prophet from God. So Herod was afraid to kill him. 6 One day, when it was Herod's birthday, he asked people to come to a special meal. The daughter of Herodias danced in front of him and his visitors. Her dance caused Herod to become very happy. 7 He said to the girl, Ask me for anything that you want. I make a strong promise that I will give it to you. 8 Herodias suggested to her daughter, Ask Herod to give you John's head. So the girl said to Herod, I've me the head of John the Baptist on a plate. 9 Then Herod felt sad. But he had made a special promise to the girl, and his visitors had heard him. So he sent his men to do what she had asked for. 10 He said to a soldier, Go to the prison and cut off John's head. 11 The soldier did this. Then he brought the head on a plate and he gave it to the girl. The girl took it and gave it to her mother. 12 After this, John's disciples went to the prison and they took away his body. They buried it. Then they went and they told Jesus what had happened. Jesus gives food to 5,000 men and their families. 13 Jesus heard about what had happened to John. After that, he went away from that place. He sailed in a boat to a quiet place where he could be alone. But the crowd heard where Jesus had gone. So they left their towns and they went on land to the place where he was going. 14 Jesus got out of the boat. He saw a large crowd there on the shore. He felt sorry for them. There were sick people among them and he made them well again. 15 When it was almost evening, Jesus' disciples came to speak to him. They said to him, "Ye are in a place where there are no houses. It will soon be dark. Send the crowd away now, so that they can go to the villages near here. Then they can buy some food for themselves to eat." 16 Jesus said to them, People do not need to go away. You should give them some food to eat." 17 But the disciples said, "Ye only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish." 18 Bring the bread and fish here to me, Jesus said. 19 Then he said to the large crowd, "Sit down on the grass." He took the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish. He looked up to heaven and he thanked God for the bread and the fish. Then he broke the bread into pieces. He gave the pieces of bread to his disciples, and they gave it to the crowd. 20 Then everybody ate. They all had enough food and they were not hungry anymore. Then the disciples picked up all the bits of food that people had not eaten. They filled 12 baskets with little bits of bread and fish. 21 About 5,000 men ate the bread and fish. Women and children also ate it with them. Jesus walks on the water. 22 Immediately after this, Jesus said to his disciples, "Get in the boat and sail across to the other side of the lake." Jesus said that he would first send the crowd away. Then he would also leave. 23 So, Jesus sent the crowd away. After they had gone, he went up on a mountain alone to pray. When it became dark, he was still there alone. 24 At this time the boat with the disciples in it was in the middle of the lake. It was a long way from the land. The wind was blowing against the boat and the water was hitting it. 25 Then, when it was nearly dawn, Jesus walked on the water towards his disciples. 26 The disciples saw him walking on the water. They were very frightened. "'Tis a spirit," they said. They screamed loudly because they were afraid. 27 But immediately Jesus said to them, "Ye brave! It is I, do not be afraid." 28 Peter replied, "Lord, is it really you? If it is you, say to me, Come here. Walk to me on the water." 29 Jesus said to him, "Come to me." So Peter got down out of the boat. He walked on the water and he came towards Jesus. 30 But then Peter saw that the wind was still blowing strongly. He became afraid and he began to go down into the water. He shouted to Jesus, "Lord, save me." 31 Immediately, Jesus put out his hand and he took hold of Peter. He said to Peter, "Who should trust me more than you do? Why did you not believe that I could help you?" 32 Jesus and Peter climbed up into the boat. Then the strong wind stopped. 33 The disciples who were in the boat went down on their knees. They praised Jesus and they said to him, "'Tis true. You are really the Son of God." 34 They sailed across the lake and reached the shore at a place called Gennesaret. 35 The people who lived in that place recognized Jesus. So they went to tell everyone who lived in places near there. People brought all their sick friends to him. 36 The sick people asked Jesus for help. They wanted to touch only the edge of his coat. Every sick person who touched him became well again.